Welcome to the root of all success with the real Jason Duncan, a podcast that explores how the world's most powerful entrepreneurs unlocked success and how their stories can help you do the same. A successful educator turned entrepreneur, Jason has built multi-million-dollar businesses that have been featured in Inc. magazine and Entrepreneur magazine. His life's mission now is helping entrepreneurs live what he calls #the exit lifestyle. Introducing TEDx speaker, mastermind leader, author, entrepreneur, cigar aficionado, motorcycle enthusiast, and host of The Root of All Success, the real Jason Duncan. The real Jason Duncan.
Welcome back to another edition of the show. It's your boy JD with you today. I'm going to be rolling solo today because I've got something I want to talk about based on my experience of running this show for the last 100 and almost 60 episodes. It's been a wild ride, but I want to kind of set this up today. This is what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about the 5 keys to success. I named my podcast The Root of All Success on purpose because I wanted to get to the root of success. I wanted to find out how are people like you and me, how are entrepreneurs and business owners becoming successful? And even more than that, like how do they define success? So what's very interesting is I've been recording all these definitions of success all these time, for all these episodes, and I've put them in a Google Sheet, and I've got a Google spreadsheet of all these different definitions of success. On my 100th episode, which you can go back and look at on YouTube or any of the podcast players where you find this and listen to this, you can go back to episode 100. There's 100 definitions of success, and I talk about that. Now, obviously, there have been 50 or 60 more since then. But what I found is that there are 5 keys to success that if you use these 5 keys, you can unlock success in your life and in your business as well. So in today's episode, I want to talk about the 5 keys of success. Now, my story goes like this. I was a school teacher before I became an entrepreneur. And as a school teacher, I learned that there are 3 ways that students learn things. And you're a student, I'm a student. We're all students. And we learn either visually, auditorily, or kinesthetically. So visually, auditory, or kinesthetically. So that means that some people are visual learners, some people are auditory learners, and some people are kinesthetic learners. And what does that mean? Well, let's break that down. So visual learners learn by seeing something. They can see it and it makes sense for them. Auditory learners have to hear it, and that for them, they hear it. Okay, got it. And then there are kinesthetic learners, and kinesthetic learners have to do it. They have to actually do the thing. So what I'm going to give you in these 5 keys of success today is I'm going to give you not only audio and visual ways to learn it, but I'm going to do a kinesthetic way. I'm going to use hand motions. Actually, I'm going to use my 5 fingers on my right hand to show you how to remember these 5 keys to success. Because if you can remember these 5 keys to success, how you can use this is like this. If you're looking at a certain thing you want to accomplish, a certain thing you want to do in life, then you think, am I going to be able to be successful at that? Then you can run it through these 5 keys. You don't have to have all 5 keys to be successful, but I found that when all 5 keys are 100% present, you're definitely going to be successful. And if you want to achieve high levels of success, you definitely have to have all 5 keys. And what I found in interviewing hundreds of people, not only on my podcast, but what I found over the years of interviewing people casually over a cigar or a glass of bourbon or something, I found that these 5 keys are appearing in everyone's story without fail. So if you think, well, okay, key number 2 is not working for me, well, you need to figure out where key number 2 is going to start working for you. So let's go into this. There are 5 keys to success, and we're going to use our hand, and we're going to start with number 1, which is on the thumb. And then we're going to go to the pointer, then we're going to go to the middle finger, and we're going to go to the ring finger, and then finally the pinky finger. Now, if you're listening to this in your car, or you're walking your dog, you're out jogging or something, you're going to be like, I can't see, Jason. I don't know what you're doing. Well, I'll be telling you what we're doing. And that also means you go back and watch the YouTube video. You can watch this at youtube.com/TheRealJasonDuncan. And there's a playlist in there called The Root of All Success. And you can watch me do this on video. So you can see this. The first key to success starts with the thumb. So we'll do like a thumbs up. And the thumbs up stands for passion. All of these keys to success are going to be starting with the letter P. For the auditory learners out there, that's alliteration. It's going to be passion, right place, right time, knowing the right people, the preparation, and the plan, which we'll go through all 5 of those in just a minute. But the first key is passion, illustrated with a thumbs up. Just that passion means maybe good, you like it. So thumbs up is good, right? So passion, I found, is the first key to success. If you're going to unlock success as an entrepreneur, you got to have passion. Now, the unfortunate part about this is that most people think that passion only and simply means you liking it. And if you like it, then you're passionate about it. Well, let me give you some examples of what that looks like. I'm passionate about motorcycles. I love motorcycles. As a matter of fact, I rode my motorcycle pretty much all day yesterday. I started at 6:30 in the morning, and I didn't get home until like 7:30 last night. And I did a lot of calls from the bike and did some podcasts. Like, it was interesting because people aren't used to seeing a man in a helmet on a call, on a Zoom call. But that's the way I've been able to design my life. I'm passionate about motorcycles. I really, really like them. I'm passionate about cars. I subscribe to Car and Driver, I subscribe to Motor Trend. I love cars. I'm passionate about spending time with my wife. We love that. We love going camping. We love RVing. We love getting out there. I'm passionate about teaching. There's a lot of things that I like. And my point here is that just because you like it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be successful at it. So when I say the key to success is passion, I'm not talking about just or only liking something. I think some of the worst advice that Instagram gurus are giving people today is find the thing that you love, you're passionate about, and just chase it and you'll be successful. That is complete BS. Do you know how many broke people are broke simply because they chased a passion, something they liked? They're broke because they didn't have true passion. They only had surface level passion. They had the emotional passion and not the mental passion. So when I say that the first key to success is passion, here's what I'm talking about. The word passion actually means, if you go back and look at the Latin word, the root word for passion, it means willing to suffer, willing to suffer. So when we talk about for things like the passion of the Christ, for example, we use that terminology to refer to the last week of Christ's life here on earth. We don't talk about it in terms of he was happy about it and joyful and was really ecstatic and loved it. No, he did it because he was passionate and that he was willing to suffer because there was a payoff. There was a greater good at the end. So what I found in interviewing all these entrepreneurs all these years is that they're without fail, if they have been successful, they have had true passion. They've had the mental and the emotional side of passion. They've had the passion to endure. Now, I love motorcycles. Am I passionate to the point of willing to endure hardship over motorcycles? Probably not. Maybe not. Am I passionate to the point of suffering to start a business around something like food? Like I like barbecue. I like Italian food. I like Mexican food. Those are things I like. Am I willing to suffer for that to create a business? No. So I'm not going to be successful in those things I'm not willing to suffer for. So when you are thinking about what you want to accomplish in life and what you want to be passionate about, what do you want to be successful in, ask yourself, am I willing to suffer? Am I willing to move to the next level and go through all the hard times to get to a place of success? And if you're not, I don't care how much you like the thing, you're not going to be passionate about it. You're not going to be successful at that because you're not passionate about it. Passion is willing to suffer, not just that you like it, it's you're willing to suffer. So that is on the thumb. So when you think about these 5 keys to success, you put your thumb up first. That's the first one. You say, am I passionate? So the thumb is passion. The second key to success we're going to use is our index finger or the pointer finger. And the second key to success I found is being at the right place at the right time. And so, for instance, if I wanted to point at a place, I would use the pointer finger and I'd point, that's the place. So that helps us remember. So later, if you're going, I can't remember the 5 keys are, the first one was thumbs up. Oh, that's passion. Okay, got it. The second one's, it also starts with P, means place. So I'm pointing at something. Now, what I found is that being at the right place at the right time has a little bit of luck to it, but not as much as you might imagine. I think we make our own luck in life. I think the harder you work, the luckier you get. But I found that on all the entrepreneurs that I've interviewed who have been very successful, is they ended up being at the right place at the right time. And I think this is true, not just in business, but in everything. I met my wife, who we've been married now for a little over 28 years. I met her because I went to a swimming pool with my buddy Jerry, who met Trisha, who was my wife's best friend, and eventually Trisha introduced me to Christy. Like being at that right place at the right time led to a lifetime relationship with my wife. The same thing about being in business. Being at the right place and the right time is a key to success. I can think about people like Elon Musk. He's a very successful guy, but he was at the right place at the right time. He put himself at the right place at the right time to allow himself to build PayPal, which was a payment processing thing. 10 years earlier than that wouldn't have mattered because it wasn't the right place or the right time for him to build that. Tesla as an electric automobile company, again, 20 years earlier, couldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. So him being born at the right place and time also contributed to that. So some of it's out of your control, but I found that most entrepreneurs I've interviewed on this show, on my show, The Root of All Success, what I found is that they are in the right place at the right time because they're putting themselves out there, that they're going out and they're networking. Your network is your net worth, and your net worth is your network. So if you put yourself in places, you're going to find the opportunity to unlock success. I'll give you some examples. Early on in my life as an entrepreneur, I joined all the chambers of commerce locally, Gallatin, Hendersonville, all the ones around where I live, Nashville, et cetera. And for the time, it was the right place and time for me because it allowed me to meet new people. It allowed me to meet other business owners, allowed me to meet people in the community that I needed to know. And all of those right place, right time allowed me to become even more successful. Today, I'm not members of the Chamber of Commerce, not because I don't like them, but because it just doesn't fit into what I'm trying to build. But I am members of other things. Like I'm a member of 2 or 3 mastermind groups. I'm a member of some private organizations and some public organizations. I'm a member of a club in downtown Nashville called The Standard. And I've met, dozens and dozens of people who've helped elevate my life to higher levels of success and my business because of who I know down there being at the right place at the right time. So the question you got to ask yourself is, if you want to be successful in something, are you putting yourself in the right place at the right time? So if we go to the 5 keys of success, the first key is, of course, thumbs up, meaning passion. Are you passionate about it? Willing to suffer? The second key is right place at the right time. And then the third key, this is going to be funny for those of you watching this on video. And if you're watching this without sound, you're going to wonder, I'm putting my middle finger up, which is normally what we call here the bird. We're giving the bird. But this key to success that we illustrate with the middle finger is knowing the right people. If you want to be successful, you got to know the right people. You have to know the right people. And what do we use our middle finger to do? We use that usually to express a disgust in another person, right? That's a universal. I don't know if it's universal, but it's certainly in the Western world, it's a sign of contempt for another person. So when you go to the third finger, the middle finger, it'll help you remember people, right? So what I found in interviewing all these successful entrepreneurs is that there was a person or a group of people at some point on their journey that had they not known that person, they wouldn't be as successful as they are today. It's all about who you know, right? It's all about getting in touch with the person you know. I can think back in my life, the people that I've met. I count my former business partner, who we are not friends anymore, and he hates my guts. But I can look back and say, listen, I count that as one of the people that helped me get to success. And I think he would, given the opportunity, would probably say the same thing about me, even though we parted ways in an uncomfortable manner. But there are other people. I look at my wife as being one of the people in my life that helped me achieve success, without whom I wouldn't be who I am today. I think about employees at my lighting company. I think about people like Nina, who I hired out. We met in a Starbucks. I didn't even have an office. She became my assistant. Now she's the VP of finance and administration for my company. I think about her. I wouldn't be able to be successful with her. I think about Brock Newby, who's my VP of sales. Hired him. He came over from a very large company to work with this tiny little company. He didn't even have an office, and he's killed it. He's been very successful and helped me achieve success. I think about Ricky Aris. Again, hired him out of a Starbucks down in Brentwood, right out of college. And he now, could be the next CEO of my company. These are the people, and they're not the only ones. I can't go through all of my employees, but those are key people in my life that helped me become successful. I think about business coaches that I've had in the past, like Mitch Russo, BJ Howard, I've worked with Hank Norman. I've worked with Steve Carlos. I've worked with some great people. I just hired a new coach. I'm going to leave that. I'm not going to say his name yet because hopefully it works out. But knowing the right people is one of the keys to success. And if you don't know the right people, you're never ever going to get to success. So let's break that down. So on the thumb, it's passion. On the pointer finger, it's place. On the middle finger, it's people. Those, by the way, are the three most important keys to success. If you're going to unlock success in your life, those are the most important keys. If you don't have those three, you're not going to be successful. So you have to ask yourself, what am I passionate about? What am I willing to suffer for? Find that thing and you have a chance of being successful. Then second, you got to start putting yourselves in the right place at the right time to meet people, which is the third key to get you where you want to go. Right place, right time, and the right people. Now, the fourth key to success is on the ring finger. And this is the hardest finger to put up by itself. Right? It's the one finger that we have the least control over. But that finger represents another P word for success, and that is preparation. Preparation. Now, preparation out of all the 5 keys is the hardest one. Preparation is having the know-how to pull off what you want to be successful at. Now, I'll give you an example from my life. I started an LED lighting company, a retrofit company in 2010.
Let's take a quick break to thank our amazing sponsors for making this podcast possible.
Hey, I want to talk with you about one of my favorite tools as a salesperson and as an entrepreneur, and that tool is Dub. I want you to imagine for a minute getting an email from somebody, and instead of just being the plain old crappy text in an email, rather than just having a bunch of HTML where it's pictures and stuff, what if it was a video? And the video had a little GIF and it was playing right there in the email as soon as you opened it, and it had your name. Like it said, hello, Jason, check this out. And then you clicked play and it played right there in your inbox in the window. And it was somebody trying to tell you how great you are, or how awesome they can help you, how good they can help you out. That is the power of video emails. I want you to try Dub out. I've been using it for years. I have closed countless millions of dollars in sales over the last 6 years or so using Dub, and you can do it too. All you got to do is go to therealjasonduncan.com/Dub. That's DUBB. Therealjasonduncan.com/Dub. Dub will help you make an impact in your sales through video. It's going to help you with, they've even got a CRM built into it. You can build landing pages. You can do campaigns, even SMS campaigns. You can set up automations to manage workflows and maximize conversions. And like I said, they've got an existing software platform inside Dub to take your CRM to the next level. Try this out. Get a free special just by being a listener to the podcast. Go to therealjasonduncan.com/Dub. Get 2 weeks to try it for free and 50% off your first 2 months. That's therealjasonduncan.com/Dub. I love talking about this sponsor because it's oftentimes a lot of people talk about sponsors on their shows or have sponsors and they either don't use them or they might have used them once and they're not really in love with it. They just take their money. And certainly there's nothing wrong with that. But this sponsor, one of my sponsors of the podcast is Story, STORYY. 2 Y's. Why? Because they're awesome. If you've ever wondered how these influencers do their Instagram reels and their TikToks and their YouTube shorts to look so amazing, where they've got the zoom cuts and the pop-ups and the on-screen illustrations, whether it's cartoons or actual images or videos that get responses that people go, ooh, I want to talk to that. If you want to know how people do that, that is exactly what Story does. They take your videos and they make you look like an influencer. They make you become an influencer. And they will post it for you. They'll write the captions. They'll add the relevant hashtags. They put it on the platforms that you care about the most. And after that content's posted, they take it even one step further to boost it to your past clients, your leads, or anyone that you want to target. And they even have someone log into your social media profile to engage with other people's posts to drive engagement on your profile. Story truly takes the headache away from doing social media content from start to finish. And they have a mission to help people nurture and cultivate their relationships by sharing your message digitally. And they even have an app that makes it easy to upload your content and track everywhere your video is at. And I've been using them for a long time. And I told them, I said, look, guys, I love what you're doing. I want to recommend you to everybody. You need to be a sponsor of my podcast. And so they're a co-sponsor of this podcast. And they're also the exclusive sponsor of my live webinar series, Entrepreneur Master Series, because they're that good. I tell everybody about them. So go to therealjasonduncan.com/story to learn more. And that's therealjasonduncan.com/story, STORYY. Why are there two Y's? Because they're awesome. You'll get 10% off your first 3 months if you go to that link, therealjasonduncan.com/story.
Thanks for listening to our sponsors. Now, back to the show.
I was passionate about it, not that I liked it, but I was willing to suffer for it because I had family that I needed to feed and bills I needed to pay. The second, being in the right place at the right time. LEDs were just coming on board as being able to be commercially viable. So right place, right time. People. I ran across some people through my research that allowed me to learn about LEDs so that I could then start selling them. But the preparation for me being able to be successful in the LED business started way back when I was 20 years old, maybe when I was even 16 years old. I started selling satellites door to door out in the country, satellite television. Out in places where they didn't have cable television, I would go sell satellites door to door as a 16-year-old kid working for this company, this guy in town. I learned the art of sales. And then at 20, I took my first professional sales job in the insurance business. And then I, did really well in the insurance business. And then I went into other sales. And then eventually here I am looking at starting a company of my own. And I looked back and said, what am I prepared to be successful at? I could sell. That's what I'm good at. And so I can start an LED lighting company. Even though I don't know jack about LED lighting, I am prepared to be successful because I know how to sell. I know how to talk to people. And that was part, not all, but part of the preparation that I had to get to where I am to be a successful person. So you need to ask yourself, what are you prepared to succeed in? I find it very interesting as I interview so many entrepreneurs on my show, The Root of All Success. I find that their level of preparation sometimes is not a direct line between what they do now and what they thought they were preparing themselves for. A lot of people went to college. A lot of people didn't go to college. A lot of people had some sort of education in the thing they do now. Some people don't. But what I found is that there was something in their past that prepared them for the success that they are achieving today. And if they didn't have something specific that happened, they would create that preparation. They would go to school. They would take a course, go to a seminar. They would study books. They would subscribe to magazines. They would listen to podcasts to prepare them to be successful. I own an Airbnb Verbo cabin in the Smoky Mountains. I can't be successful as a short-term rental owner except for the fact that I've gone and listened to so many podcasts and gone to so many workshops and listened to so many people talk about how to be successful. If you want to be successful, you've got to have preparation. So if we review the 5 keys on our hand, we've got the first one is passion. The second one is being in the right place at the right time. The third one is knowing the right people. The fourth one is preparation. And the last one on my crooked little pinky finger, if you are watching this on YouTube, you can see how crooked my pinkies are. This is a Duncan family trait. My grandfather had it. My dad had it. I've got it. And my son has it. Funny story about when my son was born. Right after he was born, they take him and they put him on the table to do all the measurements and all that kind of stuff. And so I went over there and I was looking at this new human that had come in the world because of me and my wife. And I looked at his tiny little hands and his pinkies were crooked just like mine. And I turned around and I said, he's mine. Of course, it was a joke. I don't think my wife thought it was funny at the time, but I do have crooked pinkies. They're not broken. That's how they grow. But on your little pinky, which mine's a little crooked pinky, this is the key to success called plan. So if you review this as passion, place, people, preparation, and plan. The 5th key is plan. Now, most people think when I say that that's a key to success, and based on all my interviews, that planning is part of leading to success, they think that I'm talking about a business plan. But honestly, most entrepreneurs I've talked to who are very successful never had a business plan. And as a matter of fact, I was just talking to somebody, who was it? It was just recently. It was maybe even yesterday. about their, they were trying to get into business and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to put that in my business plan. And I just shook my head because the way they said it made me think that they were relying on that plan to get them to become successful. And that is not what I mean by plan being a key to success. You see, what I mean is, what is your plan to finance your company, to finance your idea, to make the resources available to make it work? Because I can have all the passion, I can be in the right place at the right time, know the right people, and be prepared to succeed in something. But if I have no plan on how I'm going to get the resources or the financial resources available to do the business, there's no way I can be successful. If I'm really ecstatic and willing to suffer for bioengineering or whatever, just pick something crazy. And let's say I'm at the right place at the right time, know the right people, and I've prepared to be successful, but it costs $100 million to get this thing built and the R&D done to get ready to take to market. And I don't have $100 million. I'm never going to be successful in that. The plan is part of your keys to unlock success. So if you think, hey, I'm going to be the next great real estate investor. Okay. How do you have a plan to finance the real estate? Do you have a plan to get that done? You cannot overlook that. The three most important keys are having passion, being in the right place at the right time, and knowing the right people. But don't overlook preparation. Don't overlook plan. You got to look back in your life and find out, well, how was I prepared to succeed? What is it that I know how to do? What do I have the resources available to allow me to become successful? So as you go back and analyze your life and you think about the business that you're in, if you want to be successful, the only way to unlock the door to success is going to be to use these 5 keys. That's it. Nobody has ever unlocked success without these 5 keys. You can argue about it all you want. You can say, well, it was so-and-so or this person or that. It's always going to come back to one of these 5 things. Are they willing to suffer? Were they in the right place at the right time? Did they know the right people? Were they prepared for the success? Did they have the know-how to pull it off? And did they have a plan to get the resources that they needed to accomplish the thing that they wanted to accomplish? That is the key to success. Those 5 things. So I'll repeat them one more time. Passion, place, people, preparation, plan. So I've got a free ebook called The 5 Keys to Success I'd like to give you. All you have to do is you just need to go to Instagram or LinkedIn, find me on there and follow me. I'm at The Real Jason Duncan. So find me and follow me on LinkedIn or Instagram, and then just send me a DM that says 5 keys. 5 keys. That's all you need to do. The number 5 and the word keys. And y'all will send that to you free of charge. No strings attached. You can get that ebook, and it goes into more depth about what these 5 keys to success are. But I really appreciate you listening to the podcast today. I appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, maybe you just stumbled upon this. Normally, I interview people on this show. I do a few solo shows from time to time. Today's one of those days. But this is all about the root of success. How do you get to success? So as illustrated by what I've talked about today, there are 5 keys to success. And if you want to know more about success, subscribe to this podcast. Make sure you rate and review us. Give me a 5-star review if you think it's worthy of it. And I will continue to bring you all the information you need to know about how to get to success. I release 2 episodes per week, sometimes 3 episodes per week, either an interview or a solo episode or webinars. I do webinars twice a month, and we release those as special episodes on my show, The Root of All Success. So thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate everything you're doing. I also want to say that I've got a book called The Exit Without Exiting, How to Exit Your Business Without Selling It and Begin Living the Exit Lifestyle Sooner Than You Ever Thought Possible. You can get this book at therealjasonduncan.com/book. It's only $16. It's an international best-selling book. It goes over 3 stories of 3 different entrepreneurs about how they exited their business and the pitfalls that they encountered and the successes that they received because of the steps that they took to get there. If you're a business owner and you want to figure out how to exit without exiting, this is the book for you. Go to therealjasonduncan.com/book and pick up your copy today. Thank you for tuning into this show. Please tune in again next time when I talk with another entrepreneur about his or her journey to success. Until then, I am the real Jason Duncan, and Jesus is King.
Attention business owners. Feeling burnout from running your business? Uncertain if you're nearing burnout? Take our free 10-question business burnout test at businessburnouttest.com to discover where you stand. With just 10 quick questions, you'll learn how to immediately begin making changes to regain freedom and success. Cut your daily operations time in half. Improve your quality of life and prepare your business for your future exit without losing revenue or profit. Visit businessburnouttest.com now and take the test. Thank you for listening to another edition of The Root of All Success with the real Jason Duncan. If you've enjoyed this week's episode, visit therootofallsuccess.com to access the show notes and other helpful resources. Follow Jason on social media at The Real Jason Duncan. See you again next time here on The Root of All Success.